Happy Monday. It's time for a special edition What to Watch with a movie review of the movie streaming on Netflix, Gunpowder Milkshake, starring Karen Gillan, Lena Headey, Paul Giamatti, a bunch of other people. Angela Bassett. Really good movie. I liked it. 2 thumbs up already, but this is a review about the movie. Some spoilers, enough to make you want to watch the movie. I think it's good. It's a good movie, so I'm just going to get right into it. The movie begins. You obviously know Karen Gillan's character is an assassin, and her name is Sam, and she just finished a job, comes home, and actually makes herself a milkshake. So there's actual milkshakes in the movie. I don't know if they're made from gunpowder. You don't see it, but she does drink milkshakes in the movie. Anyway, so she gets a call from her, he's kind of like her foster father or foster parent. His name is Nathan, and he's played by Paul Giamatti, and he's like head of HR of the firm. So then you find out she works for the firm, which is a bunch of assassins. He's like, hey, we got a job. So then she goes into a flashback from 15 years before. So I'm thinking she's like 15 or 16 in this flashback. She meets her mom, played by Lena Headey, whose name is Scarlett, at this diner. So they actually have a milkshake together. And her mom's like, I have this job, I may be gone for a bit. She kind of alludes that. And then the people come in, the guys she was supposed to kill, and she tells Sam to close her eyes, and then she kills them and runs away. So it's the last time Sam has seen her mother. And inadvertently, she does what her mom does and is an assassin. So her mom's an assassin too. So we're back to the present. So she goes to this job. She's supposed to take some money. She goes to this hotel room. There's this guy there. And he doesn't look like a criminal. And you can tell she's like, oh, okay. And she doesn't even want to shoot him. But they have a struggle, and she shoots him in the stomach. And then there's this, it looks like a panda bear, but it's like a teddy bear walkie-talkie. And then he talks to the people. So the reason why this guy stole money from one of the firm's clients, because he needed to go rescue his daughter, who was kidnapped by these regular criminals. So when Sam hears that, she's like, I gotta take you to the hospital. So she takes him to this underground hospital, which is really interesting, and you can tell the doctor's shady, but takes him there, and then she decides to go and rescue this guy's daughter named Emily. So she's calling Nathan, played by Paul Giamatti. He's like, no, don't go, just get the money. She's like, well, I'm going to take care of the daughter too, because she was abandoned as a child, so she doesn't want her daughter this girl, it's not her daughter, this guy's daughter, Emily, to feel that way. So she goes to the criminals. In between time, Nathan sends these bonehead thugs, she even calls them boneheads, to try to reason with her to just get the money. She beats them up. They go to the hospital. So then she makes the exchange with these criminals. They have nothing to do with assassins or anything. They're just criminals. So she gives them the money. They give her the girl Emily, and she makes sure Emily is okay. And then she goes and tries to get the money, but the criminals backstab each other, and then the car explodes, so the money explodes. She's like, great, I can't get this money. Goes to Emily. She's like, I know where your dad is. Let me take you to him. They go to the hospital. Her dad dies. And of course, Sam doesn't have the heart to tell her that it was her fault that her dad passed away, because she did shoot him, and she was hoping he would be fixed by the shady doctor, but he wasn't. The doctor didn't kill him or anything. He just couldn't save him. So in between time, those boneheads that she beat up earlier, they're at the hospital. They make a deal with the doctor so he could sedate Sam a little bit, so they can beat her up. So they're all injured. One's in a wheelchair. 2 of them are in crutches, or one of them's in crutches. So she's in the room with the girl Emily, and the doctor paralyzes her arm. So she has Emily tape weapons to her. It's a really cool scene. She eventually comes out, and she's trying to kill them with her arms that was really good. It was very choreographed. Well, it was good. So anyway, she beats them up, takes Emily, decides to go to her house. So side note, and I think this is the beginning of the movie, she goes to this place called the library, which is run by Anna Mae, which is played by Sandra Bullock. Okay, so to be honest, Anna Mae is the real name of Tina Turner. Anna Mae Bullock, right? And Angela Bassett played Tina Turner in the movie in the 90s. So her name Anna Mae in the it's in the Tina Turner movie. So that's why when I say like Sandra Bullock, that's where my mind goes. I'm one of those people, like I remember random facts like that. And then, so that's, if I say Sandra Bullock, that's where I'm getting it from. So anyways, Anna Mae is Angela Bassett. Florence is played by Michelle Yeoh, who is awesome. And Madeline, which is played by Carla, I always say her name wrong, but she's been in a bunch of movies. Gorgio? There's a good way to say it. I'm saying it wrong. Sorry. But they were in the library and they were friends with Sam's mother, Scarlett. So she had gotten weapons from them earlier in the movie. So so that's the library. So she doesn't go back there yet. She goes home, or she's on her way home. She gets into a scuffle. Her mom shows up. So then they decide to go home, and her mom's explaining to her, like, I was protecting you. That's why I left, but I've been watching you ever since. And Nathan was supposed to watch you, but apparently he's not doing a good job. And in between time, Sam is not telling Emily that she's the one that shot her dad. But Emily is like really enchanted by Sam, and she wants to help her fight these bad guys. So it's really sweet how they form this like beautiful little friendship, and it just like got to me. The way this movie is done, it's so neat. It is a little slow, but it's slow enough to where you're like, what? And then something great happens. So anyways, these thugs, so in between time, since Sam didn't get the money, and it come to find out her assassination she did at the way beginning of the movie, she murdered one of the firm's big clients, Mr. McAllister's son. So now she's like, I guess according to the firm, screwing up, but she just wants to protect this little girl. So they put the leaders of the firm, to send all the assassins after her. So now they're after her. She's in the apartment with her mom and Emily. And then they're like, okay, we gotta leave. So they get out of the apartment and they go this weird back way. And then they realize, oh, we can go to the library. But the women at the library are mad at Scarlett too, because they were friends with her. She abandoned them as well. So at first they have this whole conversation, and then the thugs and the assassins figure out they're in the library. So they want to say Sandra Bullock. Anna Mae is played by Angela Bassett. It's so weird how my mind's going there. Anyway, she decides to take little Emily along with Madeline and Florence, and they're gonna go to the diner eventually. I think that's where they're staying. I gotta watch it. I'm not really sure. They're loading up their van to go to the diner. So of course Sam and Scarlett are we're gonna fight these guys. So these battle scenes, or these fight scenes, are so well choreographed. It's like almost like Kill Bill. So if you like the Kill Bill movies, you'll but not as gruesome as Kill Bill, but almost. That's the best way I can describe it. So Scarlett and Sam are fighting these guys, and it looks like a lot of guys are coming in. So then Anna Mae and Florence, they go up, they're like all good assassins. They like basically help them out. So Madeline is protecting the little girl. She fights one of the main assassins that is trying to get Sam. She passes away. So that's a really sad part of the movie. Like there's a lot of like sadness, but that was really sad because she's protecting the little girl. Little girl's fine. Oh no, they do take her. She doesn't die though. So Madeline is it's one of those movies, like when you talk about it and then you're like, oh, and I have notes, but then I remember something else. So sorry, you're gonna have to watch this movie. Anyways, so Madeline, they bury Madeline, and Sam still has that walkie-talkie that Emily's dad had at the beginning of the movie. They're like, we'll do a trade-off. I'll give you the girl if you give yourself up, and whatever. So they meet at the diner, and she's there, and there's all these thugs with Mr. McAllister. So that's the main guy who's after Sam because she murdered his son. She's like, all I want is for this girl Emily to be safe. I'm really sorry for your loss, all this stuff. Well, of course, because she left her mom and the other two women like at a cabin. Of course, they're not gonna not help her, So they show up as like waitresses. They like murder everybody. Good like diner scene. So then she takes Emily, and then they go to the cabin. So it's pretty much the end of the movie. And then the ending is really good because they get back Nathan, who kind of screwed over Sam. But that's pretty much the movie. I did it in 10 minutes. That's what I wanted to do. So watch it. Gunpowder Milkshake is streaming on Netflix right now. Watch it. It's something you gotta watch. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your week.